Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today in this video, I'm about to give you the most in-depth tutorial on the flop shot. We're gonna go over everything you need to know in order to master this shot. It's definitely one that has to be practiced, so let's get right into this one. Enjoy the video. Okay guys, so one of the first things you need in order to hit a flop shot is a high lofted wedge. I've got my Bettinardi HLX 6.0 58 degree. If you carry a 60 degree, I highly suggest you use that, or a 58 degree. If you only carry a sand wedge and it only goes up to 54 or 56, that's okay. So grab you a high lofted wedge to start. Next, we want to talk about the lie. So there are certain type of lies that are going to tell you whether or not you can hit a flop shot. Sometimes the lie dictates that you cannot hit a flop shot. Let me explain. You see the pros go up and they look at the lie quite often. That is because that's going to dictate what kind of shot they can hit. Let me show you what kind of lie will allow you to hit a flop shot and what kind of lie you cannot hit a flop shot out of because it is way, way too difficult. You can see that my club has a little bit of space to get under that. That is a good lie for a flop shot. You can see that the club should be able to slide under that golf ball. However, sometimes that golf ball could be sitting in that spot. Now you can see that that club head will not slide under that golf ball very easily at all. Okay, that's a problem. That is telling you do not hit the flop shot because the likelihood that you're going to skull the crap out of this thing and blade it over the green increases dramatically. So read your lie, find you one. If your lie is sitting up, let's say it stops right here. Now you can see that you should be able to get under that golf ball and hit the flop shot. Another lie that'll dictate that you cannot hit a flop shot is if you're on a downhill. If your ball is on a downhill, it's basically impossible to hit a flop shot because you're just going to slide right underneath that golf ball and it's going to come out low. You can't hit that high golf shot if your ball is on a downhill slope. Guys, now that we have our high lofted wedge and we've determined that our lie will allow us to hit a flop shot, let me show you how to set up to execute a good flop shot. So first of all, you want to get a nice wide stance, okay? That ball position should be forward in your stance, all right? You don't want that ball position to be too back or too middle. You want that ball position to be nice and forward in your stance. Those toes kind of flared out, nice wide, and then be sure to bend those knees and get down to the golf ball. You want to open that club face. You don't want that club face to be square to your target. You want to open that club face. The way you do that is you just turn the handle of the club face and then you lay that club behind the golf ball. Once again, making sure that that ball is fluffed up enough to where you can get the club head underneath it. Depending how far you need to hit the flop shot is how much you want to be able to open that club face. If you're just going straight up and you need to go about 10 feet in front of you, you can open that thing wide open like so. If you need to go a little farther, maybe don't open it as much, maybe like this. You're gonna have to practice this shot. It's a very difficult shot to master. You're gonna be able to tweak around with how to open the club face and how far the ball goes, where your hands go. You wanna have nice low hands, okay? So you're going to stand a little bit farther away from this one. You don't want to be too close because you want to be able to lower your hands, all right? You want to be able to lower your hands down into here. You don't want to be too upright. You want to you do not want to get your hands in front of the golf ball like you would normally hit some chips. The big thing is you want that club head to release through the golf ball and slide under that golf ball, keeping that club face to the sky, all right? You don't want to flip those hands. You want to keep that club face to the sky and try and slide under that golf ball. You're wanting to hit the golf ball on the face, kind of up on the top near the toe. You don't want to catch it too low on the club face and it's going to come out lower. If I were to step up to this one, I'd step up, I'd make sure my lie, okay, I'm good. Now let's widen that stance. Let's open that club face. And let's lower those hands. And then the big thing here, keep up your speed. Do not decelerate through the golf ball. You want to swing pretty hard because you're adding a lot of loft to this golf club. It's going to want to shoot straight up in the air. You need speed to execute this shot. If you decelerate, it's just going to chunk and it's going to go about 3 feet in front of you. You want to keep the speed up. Keep those hands at least level with the golf ball. You never want them in front. You've seen Tiger Woods kind of do a one of these in the bunker before. He's trying to slide that club head underneath the ball. You kind of want to hinge this left wrist underneath the ball, all right? Get it to shoot straight up in the air. So again, nice wide stance, ball forward in my stance, nice low hands, and then you want to kind of swing very quickly. You want to keep the speed up and slide under the golf ball. Now this golf shot is going to be a lot easier if you're in the rough because it's going to sit up a little bit. However, you can hit it out of the fairway. When you do so, you need to be able to use the bounce. That's a little more advanced. I'd highly suggest practicing this shot out of a little bit thicker rough to have that ball sit up a little bit before you move on to trying to hit it out of a fairway or those tighter lies, because then you have to use the bounce of the club and you want to basically just kind of thump the ground right at the ball and right at impact, and that'll send that ball up in the air. A little more of an advanced shot from those tighter lies. Let me show you a shot from the fairway. As you can see, this is much shorter grass here, and you can see that that ball doesn't have a lot of room to get under it. Now is when you have to use the bounce, which is this bottom portion of your club, to kind of hit and bounce the ball off the turf. Again, speed is key. Only thing I change here is I maybe stand up a little bit more than I don't get down in here. I want to be able to use that bounce, so I'm standing just a little bit closer to it. That way the bounce slides right under this golf ball. Let's hit one, and then I'll show you it in slow motion. Guys, that's going to do it for this tutorial on the flop shot. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like on this one. Be sure to hit that subscribe. I got much more coming your way as far as golf tips and drills to help you lower those scores. I truly appreciate your support. We'll catch you next time.